So, you got a 4302, 50, 289, whatever, you want to take the springs out and you want to change the seals, I'm going to show you how. Alright, so first step is you got to remove your rockers. I recommend doing this all at once. Again, just pull it off right there. I just did this one for simplicity so you can show you what I'm doing. Alright, so once it's off, if you're going to do them all at once, make sure you label them. If not, you got to make sure they go back in the exact order, and you have the torque spec on once they're on the car. So let's go ahead and use a puller. Let's give a tool list first. So what you're going to need is a piece to hold up any plastic or rubber object to hold up the valve. You're going to need a 1/2 inch socket. This is almost required if you're using OEM spec valve seals. You're going to need a center punch. You're going to need a cheap hammer. I'm not going to show you that. You're going to need a puller tool, mentioned before. You're going to need the tool to send that down. And you're going to need, I like to use, at least it's not required, you can use your hand. I like to use a magnetic screwdriver. And Lyman pliers to pull the seal off. Let's go up. Alright, so I'm trying to do high visibility because there's no videos that actually show this properly or decently or in a fast time because I'm not trying to waste it. Here we go. Just kind of diving right in. I'm going to spin this around because it's a pain in the ass. You got to grab it from the the lowest spring. So this is going to be in your way for now, but once I tighten this down a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, okay, now you can spin your spring around. So this is basically what I did. You attach this at the bottom right here and here. These are your lower feet. They're going to pull up. This is going to push down because you're sending that bolt through, and you're going to push on these 2 feet. Second thing, once you're done here, you're going to bash this tiny little retainer. I'm going to point with the screwdriver. This retainer here on an intake. On the exhaust, you're going to push on this portion. It's going to look a little different. I'll show you that in a second. So go ahead, send this home. Whoops, wrong way. Send home, send home, send home. Let's see. Some people say, oh, be careful, it's going to pop away. Well, if you use quality tools, it won't. And if you're careful. So let's just kind of take that route. Okay, so use your plastic piece, set it under your valve, and make sure you guys can still see. That's kind of spun around. That's fine. Set your plastic piece on your valve. As you can see, the valve is now popped up because it's got something underneath it. Let's go ahead and tap on this. So trying to again keep high visibility. Set there. This gives a good old whack. 1. There you go, done. What I like to do, you can grab this by hand, but whoop, done. Those are your keepers. They go in a cone shaped. Got the second one. That's the retainer trying to follow suit. And let me show you guys this real fast. So it goes in this shape, this face down because it's cone shaped. It's got a meaty centerpiece that kind of holds the top of the valve. You'll see that when I show you and pull it out. Retainer, pull that out. Oh Lord. Alright, so retainer, again, cone shape down. Keep that all together. You don't want to lose that, you're going to reuse it. There you go, pull this out, whoop, you're done. Set that in a place where you're not going to get shot in the head. Go ahead and use your Lyman pliers. Oh, not yet. Let's go ahead and take out the valve. So, whoop, there you go, just push on it, sends it home, pull that out, set something back underneath so you can see. Make sure your head doesn't fall off the table, that would be a sad state of affairs. So again, just making sure you guys can see what I'm kind of doing here. There you go. Just making sure. So that piece attaches right here. Okay, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and change this out. So you gotta grab your Lyman pliers now. Grab your Lyman pliers. Whoops, wrong way. Pinch, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like a radiator hose. Pull this up, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Make sure you don't scratch anything. It's nice and clean underneath, which is kind of cool. Use a dirty rag or a clean one, doesn't matter. Just clean this up. Give it a good of air. Let's go ahead and throw in a new one. Where's my new ones at? Right here. Okay. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, good. Place this on here. You can put this on by hand. I recommend using a 1/2 inch socket. When you place your 1/2 inch socket on this piece right here, kind of does this. Oh Lord, it's on there already. Again, it's rubber on steel, so it's kind of grippy. Setting this together like that, it kind of makes a seal, and you're gonna tap it on. All right, very good. Let's go use our $1 hammer. Once it's on, tap all around, make sure it's fully seated. You should hear metal on metal sound. That's good. Go ahead, clean up your valve. You can lap it now if you want. Sounds like a good idea and a good time to do that. I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. All right, let's go ahead and throw our valve back in now that we've wiped it down with the old t-shirt. Kind of, this is the intake, so you kind of have to guess unless you look through the opposite side. I don't even think you can see it from there. So just look through the bottom. Toss it through. Set a plastic object underneath the valve so it doesn't fall back down, because that'd be a pain in the ass. Once it's through, make sure your head doesn't fall off the desk. That would be a sin. Here we go. I might have to readjust the camera so you can see what I'm... Oh, no, you got a good high visibility. All right, there you go. So try to push on the valve. You can push on the valve. It's not seated. There you go. All right, toss this in the trash. Next thing you want to do, there you go. Set your spring back down. Rocker's in the way. All right, set your spring back down. Make sure it doesn't fall. Good. I'm just let that sit there while I grab the retainer. Put that back on. Ta-da! Keepers got to go in. Make sure the middle groove sits in that middle piece. I'm gonna try to show you like this. Ready? Oops. And nope. So you can use a magnetic screwdriver, and that's honestly like the best invention since sliced bread. Just, oh hey, look, check it out. It's not doing what I want it to, but it ended up working out. So just push this down. Make sure it goes in between. I'm gonna have to stick my finger on the opposite side. You're probably gonna miss out what I'm doing. There. That's the best way to describe it. It's in the middle here. Now you might be able to see that middle piece is actually in the middle band. Go ahead, take your second keeper. This is the intake. You just drop it in here. Ta-da! Make sure they're the same height. Let me try to show you what I'm doing. Okay, now they're the same height, pull up on your spring retainer. Ta-da! If it doesn't fall down, you can push on it. Then you know it's in the right spot. Go ahead, undo your compressor. Once that's all loosey-goosey, just rock it back and forth, get it off. Boom, done. All right, you're basically good to go.